So this now is part 4 of our short history of management in the 20th century. Part 4, the great, the good, and the gurus. We have seen develop the management structure with owners at the top and workers at the bottom. We've also seen the structure flatten and the role of the organization decline. But being an expert in management in the 21st century has become a growth industry in itself. These are some of the people who are now proclaimed as management experts. We'll look at my top 10, and that's these. Michael Porter introduced his competition theory in the 1990s. The idea is that threat does not just come from your existing competitors. Threats from new entrants into the marketplace can pressurize your business. Threats of substitution in the marketplace when people find other ways of doing things. The bargaining power of your existing buyers and the bargaining power of your existing suppliers, all of which bring pressure onto your business and need to be analyzed if you are to compete successfully. Tom Peters introduced his search for excellence. He said that there was a bias for action and stay close to your customer. Autonomy and entrepreneurship should drive your organization, with productivity coming through people. Hands-on and value-driven. Stick to the knitting, which means stay with what is familiar and what you know. Simple form, lean staff. Simultaneous loose and tight properties. Robert Reich talks about the social failure of capitalism. I must admit, I tend to agree. With growth as the main objective, it's common sense that not everything can continue to grow forever. Sooner or later, human beings will always betray you. Rosabeth Moss Kanter made her reputation as one of the change masters. Tune into the environs. Stimulate innovative ideas. Set out inspiring visions. Build coalitions. Nurture the work team. Persist and persevere. And make everyone a hero. Her formula for successful change management. Edward de Bono came back with his thinking hats. You wear a hat for creative lateral thinking in a group, brainstorming. But you only deal with the issues that are appropriate for the color hat you're wearing. If you are to deal with something else, you must change the color of your hat. This is the discipline of 6 thinking hats. McGregor X theory and Y theory of organizations is something we're already familiar with. But Charles Handy, in The Gods of Management, increased the 2 dimensions to 4. Task, power, person, and role. The organization driven by a person has a steady pace, is organized around its owner, entrepreneurial in spirit, tends to be two-paced, is risk-aware, and is individually centered. An organization driven by its role becomes role-specific, bureaucratic, growing organically, lacking innovation, emotional leadership, and stable. When a task organization is fast-paced, silo in structure, highly ambitious, team-orientated, with strong leadership, and innovative. For a power-structured organization, again the pace is fast. Dominant individuals will tend to rule the day. Direct involvement by management, strong discipline, and high expectations. The 4 different parameters of managing organizations. Chris Argyris introduced us to the ladder of inference. It is literally a ladder. Every time I act, an action loop feeds back to the data and experience on which I have built my beliefs. Every time I trade a belief, observation of new data and experience is likely to modify those beliefs in a reflective loop. I know what exists and what is perceivable. I sense and I observe. I select data from my observations. I add cultural and personal meanings. I make assumptions and draw conclusions. I draw my own conclusions. I adopt my beliefs about the world. I take action based on my beliefs. A continuous action and reaction based on our beliefs at any given time. Chris Argyris is something of a cerebral manager who believes that management should bring a philosophical aspect to their role. Esther Dyson, Risk and Recovery. A Swiss-born American investment guru, she has already self-financed a trip into space on the Soyuz TMA-14 mission to dock with the International Space Station in 2009. In 1982, she went to work for Rosen Research, and in 1983, she bought the company from Ben Rosen. She tends to specialize in managing risk, and she has a library full of pithy sayings to help. Don't make the same mistake twice. Always make new mistakes. Don't leave hold of your common sense. Think about how technology can enhance what you are doing. Don't think about the technology first. Change means that what was before wasn't perfect. Esther is a strong protagonist for data security and safe IT transactions. She works on the board of several charities and non-profit making organizations where she champions the safeguarding of intellectual property. Intellectual property is like a field. You can only get out what you have put in. Intellectual property must be nurtured and grown. You cannot just sit back and take the profits. Tony Bukzan introduced mind mapping to an unsuspecting world, having studied the techniques used by Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, and Novaks. Bukzan was a leading member of Mensa and became the editor of the International Journal for Mensa. He developed a great many mnemonic systems, speed reading and mind mapping techniques to help students excel in their chosen studies. And after introducing a computer-based mind mapping program, his company now holds the trademark on the term mind mapping. Unfortunately, Mr. Bukzan died of a heart attack in April of 2019. He will, however, long be remembered for the impact and creativity of his mind mapping techniques. I've been lost in many of them. Just 2 more to go. Michael Dell, who tells us that the most dangerous thing is not taking a risk. And my own favourite, Richard Branson. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. This reminds me that when I was a consultant, I never accepted any consultancy assignment that I was qualified to do. I always believed that the people giving me the assignment knew more about it than I did, and I was happy to learn from them. The modern philosophy calls for total management. The world's industrial revolution has moved on. To some extent, Britain has been left behind. Europe, North America, the subcontinent of India and Southeast Asia, Australasia, Southern America, the Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the old Soviet Union have all moved on. We are told we now face global opportunity, but it can also be overpowering global competition. Who can say? But good luck to the managers of the future. And don't forget to tick the like button if you enjoyed these programs, and subscribe if you want to keep an eye on what's happening at the Muscombe History Group channel. That's the end of this little series. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye for now.